Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I am Dr. Edward Summers, and let's queer up politics. Out Robert Garcia takes page from Marjorie Taylor Greene and shows Elon Musk's dick pic in House DOGE hearing. Gay California Representative Robert Garcia brought levity and sharp critique to a House hearing on GOP-led budget cuts. Taking a page right out of Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene's playbook, Garcia held up a pic of Elon Musk. He quipped it was his version of a dick pic. This remark was a callback to a 2023 hearing where Republican Georgia U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene displayed explicit images of Hunter Biden. Garcia condemned Musk's Department of Government Efficiency for cutting education, Medicare, and Medicaid funding. He warned that Musk's influence was a power grab, benefiting billionaires at the expense of Americans. Garcia also highlighted the appointment of unqualified staff, including teenagers in Musk DOGE. As DOGE oversight of key agencies falters, Garcia pledged to protect social safety nets from billionaire-driven cuts. Well, kudos to Garcia, for standing up for everyday people. As we all know, lots of different individuals are being impacted by quote-unquote freezes and these cuts, and it's all driven by a billionaire who doesn't know what it's like to live a day in and day life of an American citizen here. And I hate to go there with this guy, but unfortunately I have to, because he's so antithetical to American democracy. And everything that he's trying to do reminds me of what South Africa was under apartheid regime. And that's exactly what he's trying to do with his crony here, Donald Trump, which I hate saying both their names. So kudos to Garcia. I think it's great that he's standing up for everyday Americans, and he's speaking out. And, what he called them is what he called them. Right.
On the one hand, I agree that Elon Musk is a dick, but, seeing Congressman Garcia's antics, I think it goes perfectly what I saw. An old colleague of mine, Oliver Willis, who's now an editor at the Daily Kos, posted this morning. I've been a registered Democrat for 29 years. I voted in 8 presidential elections. I've never been more disgusted with the Democrats than right now. People forget that what is happening. I have friends who are being put on leave in the federal workforce, others who know people that are being fired. A friend of mine worked for a nonprofit that dealt with helping historically black colleges and universities. Their big donor was a corporation. They said, on advice of legal counsel, we can't meet with you. Then magically a giant layoff happened last week. I also have friends that are afraid to go out and about with me because of ICE. I see all that, and I see the Democrats' version of their attempts to fight back. It's we're going to call Elon a dick. I'm sick of that shit. The Republicans have a majority, but not a functional majority in the House. I want to see Garcia and the rest of the Democrats say, we're not going to vote for that budget that you cannot pass without at least 1 or 2 of us if you're going to keep this shit up. That's what I want to see the Democrats do.
Wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah.
And the thing with Elon Musk too is that a lot of his people that he's hired are hackers that were fired from other organizations because of their skill set, and he brought them in because they're geniuses at hacking things, and he's getting into our government in places he shouldn't be at, and that's really scary. I also heard, and again, I did not verify it, but supposedly he has an aunt, Musk does, or something in Europe that's still a major Nazi supporter and stuff. And, you go, okay, between the symbol of him standing out there and raising his arm in the sky and, some of the history that as you dig deeper into, and even the other one, the Orange Man's background in Germany and his parents changing their name when they came here, kind of makes you all look at all of that and go, how did we turn a blind eye? How do we miss the clues? And yes, half of America didn't miss the clues, but I've never been a conspiracy theorist, but I think the reason he was so upset at the last election is he had fixed it and lost in 2020. And he couldn't understand, which is why he was saying it was fixed, because he knew the outcome before it happened. And then America stood up so much that it was so close, but I don't think it was really that close. And I think this election, history will show, whether any of it was legit or not. But, again, back to your point, the Democrats are doing nothing in a fire in their belly to get out there and get on the steps and rally Americans out into the streets.
Right.
They're just placating everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, Vance is overseas. They're still appointing people. It was Vance that was the final vote on one of the first nominees. Right now, he's out of the country. What happened to our Alaska representative? There are two, what's her name? The two females.
The Republican that are kind of wishy-washy.
Yes, that there was Susan Collins. Right. Neither one of them voted today against the two people that were nominated for RFK.
And remember, every Democrat voted for Marco Rubio, who's
Which
helping disable
is ridiculous.
USA,
Right.
who thinks trans people shouldn't be given a pass.
I just find it ridiculous.
Yeah. So it just angers us. All of us.
And I think back to when Obama was in office, and quite frankly, when the Republicans won, they denied every political appointee. They denied him any victory.
That was their goal.
Court. Right. Like Merrick Garland.
Right.
Merrick Garland should have been on the Supreme Court, but they denied him that. And they only had a slim majority like they have right now, and they denied him. And the fact that the Democrats don't want to use these same tactics, it's appalling.
Yeah.
It is stand up for fucking America.
Well,
stand up
there's
for
a
people
point
you
where
represent.
they go low, we go high. Is like, just throw that out the window, because going high is not winning us elections.
It's not winning us.
Exactly.
And I think there's an opportunity, and I've heard some buzz about using the filibuster as a tool for the Democrats to.
They don't even need to. They can just call a quorum now and then, because so few senators are ever in there in session. It gums up the works. The Democrats have all sorts of tactics that they could use.
Absolutely.
They don't want to use them. I've just been so appalled at. I've met Leader Jeffries, and he tends to be a good guy. I have no idea what's going on in his head right now.
No.
Schumer, I understand, is I'm sorry, he's too old. Nancy Pelosi's too old. They still think it's 1994. It's 2025.
Right.
It's time to start getting with the times and getting more fight.
Yeah, I had some hope for Hakeem Jeffries, and I'm optimistic and I still have some hope. But to your point, I don't know what's going on. When I look at a person like Jasmine Crockett from Texas, she speaks her mind and she speaks up. And she recently have been talking on some podcast about what Democrats need to do. And just hearing her, it's just a breath of fresh air. And I wish we would listen a little bit more to her, because she makes sense and she's willing to stand, for what she believes in.
And activate people to do something. And that's what we need. We need people to activate people on the Democratic side. Where's Debbie Wasserman Schultz? She has a loud voice in our community, but I don't see her running any rallies right now. And if she is, it's not getting publicized that we know about it to go out and support these things that we are against.
I can't speak for her, but when I was at FDP, whenever I wanted to do a press event of some kind to bash Donald Trump, Debbie was always a sport.
Absolutely.
She would do it. She once literally did a voice call, a phone call with reporters in line at the airport for me.
And I'm a huge fan of hers because she does, but I haven't seen her on the news speaking out. And that's what going back to Hakeem Jeffries, you want the people that you love and admire and that stand up for us to take this time to stand up.
Yeah.
And I've met Debbie several times. She gave me an award from Congress for the bike ride. I have nothing but admiration for her, but with everyone else who's on the Democratic side that has the ability to move mountains, they're not speaking up and screaming at this point.
Yeah.
Or the press is not giving them the time. So you don't know who to blame.
We'll start with Democratic leadership, then we can look at the press.
I'm down.
Yeah.
That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.